Look at your neighbor and tell them, this is not the end of my story. Because what tried to break you in 2025 did not bury you, it built you. What drained you did not destroy you, it disciplined you. And what delayed you did not deny you, it prepared you. Hear me clearly tonight. You cannot step into a new year carrying old weight. You cannot expect new vision while holding on to expired pain. You cannot demand overflow while living on yesterday's instructions. Some of you survived storms you never thought you'd outlive. You smiled while bleeding. You showed up while breaking. You kept moving while feeling empty. But survival was not the goal, transformation was. And now the calendar is turning, but God is saying, before I change your season, I must reset your spirit. Before I elevate your future, I must restart your faith. Before I release the promise, I must refocus your mind on this is not just another year. This is a divine interruption. This is a holy reset. This is the moment where you stop replaying what went wrong and start realigning with what's possible. If you're ready to let go of who you were, to step into who you're becoming, and to move forward with clarity, courage, and conviction, then lean in, because 2026 is not coming to repeat your past. It's coming to reposition your purpose. There comes a moment in every life when holding on becomes more dangerous than letting go. We often convince ourselves that carrying the past is proof of strength, but in truth, it slowly weakens us. The weight of yesterday has a way of shaping today's decisions, clouding tomorrow's vision, and draining the energy meant for what's next. Pain that was never released turns into a silent burden. Regret that was never confronted becomes a constant companion, and failures that were never forgiven begin to define identity instead of experience. Releasing the weight of the past is not denial, it is discernment. It is recognizing that what happened to you does not get to decide where you are going. Many people are stuck not because they lack ability, but because they are emotionally overcrowded. Their hands are full of what went wrong, so they have no room to receive what could go right. Old disappointments replay in the mind, creating fear where faith should live. Past betrayals build walls so high that even good opportunities are locked out. You start judging new seasons through old wounds, assuming every open door will lead to the same pain. But the truth is, every season demands a different version of you. What protected you then may now be preventing you from growing. Letting go does not erase the lesson, it releases the burden. You don't forget the struggle. You just stop letting it bleed into everything you touch. When you release guilt, you regain confidence. When you release shame, you reclaim your voice. When you release bitterness, you recover your peace. Carrying anger feels powerful for a moment, but it slowly poisons joy. Carrying regret feels responsible, but it quietly steals courage. The past will always knock, but you don't have to keep answering the door. There is a difference between reflection and residence. Reflection helps you learn. Residence keeps you trapped. Some people revisit their past so often that they've turned it into a permanent address. They rehearse old conversations, replay old mistakes, and relive old losses until their future feels unfamiliar and unsafe. But growth requires movement, and movement requires release. You cannot walk into a new year while staring over your shoulder at what didn't work. Forward motion demands forward focus. Releasing the past is an act of faith. It is trusting that what lies ahead is greater than what lies behind. It is believing that your story is still being written and the best chapters have not yet been read. When you finally loosen your grip on what hurt you, you discover that your hands were never empty. They were just occupied. And once they are free, you are able to receive clarity, peace, strength, and purpose in ways you never imagined. That is how the reset begins, when you decide that the past no longer gets permission to control your future. Faith is not a one-time decision. It is a daily posture, a conscious choice to believe in what cannot yet be seen. Restarting with renewed faith means stepping into a new season with courage, even when fear whispers that the past defines your future. It is not the faith you borrowed from others or the faith you carried through familiar trials. It is a fresh, living faith that rises from the ashes of disappointment and the lessons of yesterday. When you restart with renewed faith, You acknowledge that the journey ahead is not dictated by what failed before, but by the God-given potential that still lives within you. Faith does not erase the struggle, but it transforms it into a stepping stone, a bridge to a future filled with promise and possibility. Renewed faith requires you to stop depending on your own understanding or your own strength. It requires you to release control, knowing that what you cannot see, God already knows. It is the kind of faith that moves mountains, not because it is loud, but because it is persistent. It pushes you to take steps that your circumstances say are impossible. It empowers you to speak life into your dreams when every voice around you doubts. Restarting with faith is saying, I will trust even when I cannot trace. I will move even when the path is unclear. I will hope even when the outcome is uncertain. Many people hesitate to restart because they feel the burden of what went wrong. They replay past failures and assume that their missteps have defined their destiny. But renewed faith reminds you that failure is not final, it is feedback. The mistakes of yesterday are not the measure of your tomorrow. Restarting with faith is an act of defiance against despair. It is choosing to believe that God's plan is greater than the pain, stronger than the setback, and more creative than any limitation you can imagine. Faith grows when it is exercised, not when it is theorized. It grows in the quiet moments when you choose to pray instead of panic, when you speak hope instead of fear, and when you act even in uncertainty. Every small step taken in faith compounds into momentum. Every decision rooted in belief reshapes your perspective. Every act of trust expands your capacity to receive more than you thought possible. Restarting with renewed faith is not a reckless leap. It is a deliberate choice to align your heart, mind, and actions with the promises that are bigger than your circumstances. When you embrace this renewed faith, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Doors that appeared closed start to open. Connections that seemed impossible begin to align. Miracles are not always loud, but they are present when your faith refuses to waver. Restarting with renewed faith is a declaration that 2026 will not be a repeat of 2025, but a season of alignment, breakthrough, and divine favor. It is a faith that refuses to quit, refuses to settle, and refuses to be defined by what has already happened. It is faith in action, faith in promise, and faith in the God who never fails. Refocusing your mind and vision is the cornerstone of any successful reset. Without clarity, even the best intentions can become wasted energy, and the most determined efforts can be scattered and ineffective. Refocusing is about intentionally redirecting your attention from distractions, doubts, and external noise toward what truly matters. It requires you to identify your priorities and let go of anything that does not align with your purpose. Every day your mind is bombarded with thoughts, opinions, and information that can pull you off course. If you allow it, the clutter of the world will dominate your decisions and cloud your destiny. Refocusing is choosing to take control of your mental landscape so that you can see clearly, think strategically, and act decisively. Distractions are everywhere. They come in the form of social media, toxic relationships, unnecessary obligations, and even self-doubt. Each one is a subtle thief of your focus, slowly eroding your capacity to perform at your highest level. Refocusing is the process of cutting off what diminishes your energy and replacing it with what nourishes your growth. It is intentionally choosing where to direct your time, your energy, and your thought life. Your mind is like a camera lens. If it is out of focus, the picture of your future will be blurry. When you refocus, the lens sharpens and you begin to see your next steps with precision. A key part of refocusing is understanding that clarity comes from within, not from outside validation. Too often, we wait for circumstances to change before we regain our focus, but true focus is born from discipline, self-awareness, and vision. It requires you to quiet the noise of comparison, fear, and indecision. It is about asking yourself, what is essential? What aligns with my purpose? What moves me closer to my goals? Every time you answer these questions honestly, you clear a path for progress and open space for new opportunities to enter your life. Refocusing also demands that you eliminate mental clutter. Old doubts, lingering regrets, and negative self-talk can sabotage even the most promising intentions. The mind cannot be both a prison and a launch pad. To refocus, you must release thoughts that do not serve your future and replace them with thoughts that empower and inspire. Meditation, journaling, prayer, and intentional planning are tools that help sharpen mental clarity and align your vision. When your focus is clear, your actions become deliberate. Every decision, every step, and every effort is aligned with a greater purpose. Opportunities are no longer missed because you recognize them. Distractions lose their power because your eyes are fixed on the prize. Refocusing is not a one-time event. It is a daily commitment to see your life with clarity and act with intention. When you enter 2026 with a refocused mind and vision, you are no longer reactive. You are proactive. You are no longer wandering. You are advancing. Refocusing gives you the power to convert potential into reality and dreams into tangible outcomes. It is the bridge between who you are today and who you are meant to become. Discipline and consistency are the unsung heroes of every lasting success. Talent and vision may open doors, but it is disciplined action repeated over time that sustains growth and creates results that matter. Recommitment to discipline is the recognition that breakthrough does not come from fleeting motivation or sudden inspiration. It comes from showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when the results are not immediate, and even when the journey feels long and uncertain. Consistency builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. And confidence transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. Without discipline, your dreams remain ideas. With discipline, they become reality. Many people underestimate the power of small, daily choices. They look for massive shifts, quick wins, or instant breakthroughs, forgetting that greatness is built brick by brick. Every small, deliberate step compounds over time. Reading a page every day builds knowledge. Saving a small amount each month builds wealth. Speaking positively about yourself daily builds confidence. Discipline is the mechanism that turns these small actions into monumental results. It is the quiet commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when the applause is absent, even when the rewards are delayed. Consistency is what ensures that your effort does not dissipate like smoke in the wind, but instead solidifies into lasting impact. Recommitting to discipline also means refusing to allow excuses to dictate your life. It is easy to say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm too tired today," but every delay reinforces stagnation and weakens potential. Discipline demands that you rise above excuses, that you prioritize what truly matters, and that you honor the commitments you make to yourself. This level of accountability creates an internal authority that no external circumstance can override. When you are disciplined, your actions are no longer subject to mood, environment, or convenience. They are guided by principle and purpose. Consistency paired with discipline creates reliability and trust, not only with yourself, but with others. When people see your persistence, your follow through, and your dedication, doors open, opportunities appear, and influence grows. Consistency transforms potential into performance. It turns goals into habits and habits into lifestyle. Without it, even the best intentions remain incomplete. Discipline keeps you on track when motivation fades. Consistency ensures that your efforts are not wasted, that your progress compounds, and that your vision becomes achievable step by step, day by day. Recommitting to these principles is particularly crucial when life feels uncertain or overwhelming. It is in the moments when distractions are loudest, setbacks are greatest, and progress seems slowest that discipline proves its value. By showing up, staying the course, and remaining consistent, you signal to yourself and the universe that your goals are non-negotiable, that your growth is inevitable, and that your breakthrough is coming. Discipline and consistency are not glamorous, but they are powerful. They are the engine that converts intention into action, action into progress, and progress into the life you are destined to live. When you recommit to these principles in 2026, you are laying the foundation for a year not defined by luck or chance, but by focused, unstoppable action that propels you into your highest potential. Repositioning your identity is one of the most powerful steps you can take when preparing for a new season. Too often, people allow their past experiences, mistakes, or the opinions of others to define who they are and what they are capable of becoming. You cannot move forward while introducing yourself by what you have been through instead of who you are called to be. Your identity is not rooted in failure, loss, or limitation. It is rooted in purpose, potential, and possibility. To reposition your identity is to reclaim your narrative, to refuse to be a product of circumstance, and to step boldly into the version of yourself that aligns with your destiny. Many people carry labels that were never theirs to begin with. They are called too weak, too late, or not enough by people who do not understand their potential. They replay these labels internally, letting them shape thoughts, decisions, and opportunities. But true repositioning begins with rejecting these false identities and embracing the truth about who you really are. You are not defined by the storms you survived or the mistakes you made. You are defined by the resilience you developed, the lessons you learned, and the strength that emerged through adversity. Repositioning your identity is declaring that your past does not determine your future and that your value is not negotiable. This process requires intentionality. It requires you to examine your beliefs about yourself and challenge the lies that have shaped your self-perception. Every negative thought, every limiting belief, and every old story must be confronted and replaced with the truth of your purpose and your potential. You must start speaking over yourself the words of affirmation, courage, and possibility that align with the person you are becoming. Identity is not something that is handed to you by the world. It is something you define by your choices, your mindset, and your commitment to growth. Repositioning your identity also requires surrounding yourself with influences that reinforce your value and vision. The people, environments, and messages you consume shape how you see yourself. To step into a new season, you must align yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and encourage the best version of you. Toxic relationships, negative media, and limiting narratives must be removed so that your focus is clear, your confidence is strong, and your purpose can flourish. Your identity expands in an environment that nurtures growth and affirms your worth. When you fully reposition your identity, you begin to act differently, speak differently, and make choices from a place of power rather than limitation. You stop apologizing for being yourself and start pursuing opportunities that reflect your true value. You begin to attract circumstances that match your vision and relationships that honor your growth. Repositioning your identity is not just a mindset shift. It is a life shift. It is the declaration that you will no longer lie beneath your potential and you will no longer allow the past to dictate your possibilities. When you enter 2026 with a repositioned identity, you step forward not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to become, fully aligned with your purpose, unshakable in your confidence, and unstoppable in your pursuit of destiny. Rising with bold action is the ultimate test of all the work you have done to reset, restart, and refocus. You can release the past, renew your faith, sharpen your vision, commit to discipline, and reposition your identity. But if you do not take deliberate action, all of it remains potential unfulfilled. Action is the bridge between intention and manifestation, between dreams and reality. Bold action requires courage because it pushes you beyond comfort zones, challenges fear, and demands that you step into uncertainty with confidence. It is a conscious decision to move forward even when the path is unclear and the outcome is unknown, trusting that each step is part of a larger plan designed for your growth and success. Many people wait for perfect conditions to take action, thinking that timing or circumstances must be flawless. But bold action does not wait for the perfect moment. It creates it. It begins in the ordinary, in small steps fueled by faith, consistency, and courage. Every great achievement in history began with someone daring to act when others hesitated. Bold action turns ideas into initiatives, plans into progress, and potential into reality. Without movement, vision remains a dream and hope remains a wish. To rise in action is to commit to translating your reset and refocus into tangible results. Action also requires accountability and persistence. Bold action is not impulsive, it is intentional and strategic. It requires setting clear goals, prioritizing effort, and taking consistent steps toward progress. Each action taken builds momentum, and momentum creates confidence and clarity. When you act boldly, You send a signal to yourself and to the universe that you are serious about your future, that you will not be passive in your growth, and that you are willing to take risks to achieve what matters most. Every decision to act, even in fear or uncertainty, reinforces your commitment to your vision and accelerates your journey towards success. Bold action demands resilience because setbacks are inevitable. Fear of failure, criticism, or rejection can paralyze, but those who rise with action understand that obstacles are part of the process, not the end of it. Each challenge is an opportunity to refine strategy, strengthen resolve, and deepen faith. Action without persistence is wasted effort, but action paired with determination transforms adversity into progress. Every step, whether forward or seemingly backward, carries lessons that shape your capacity to achieve greater things. Rising with bold action transforms potential into performance. It aligns thought with movement and intention with results. It turns what could be into what is and transforms hope into tangible outcomes. 2026 is calling for more than planning, dreaming, or wishing. It is calling for decisive, faith-driven, and courageous movement. Bold action ensures that the reset is not just theoretical, the restart is not just hopeful, and the refocus is not just conceptual. Action is the final key that propels your life from preparation into fulfillment, from promise into reality, and from vision into victory. Taking bold action is the declaration that you are ready to step into the fullness of your purpose, unstoppable in pursuit of your destiny, and unwilling to let another year pass without achieving what you were created to accomplish. Listen to me, church. I need you to hear this tonight. 2026 is not coming to repeat your past. It's coming to reposition your purpose. If you walk into this year carrying yesterday's pain, yesterday's fear, yesterday's doubts, you will remain in yesterday's story. But if you choose to reset your heart, restart your faith, and refocus your mind, there is nothing that can stop the destiny that's already written for you. I'm talking about a season where your breakthrough is bigger than your setback, your promotion is louder than your pain, and your joy refuses to be stolen by the storms that tried to drown you. Some of you are still waiting for someone to open the door, but I'm telling you, the door is open. You just have to walk through it. Some of you are still looking for permission, but God has already equipped you with everything you need to rise. This is your time. This is your season. And I'm declaring tonight that whatever held you back in 2025 no longer has a place in your life. You are stepping into 2026 with clarity, courage, and conviction. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and move forward boldly, because your best days, your greatest victories, and your divine destiny are not coming. They are here.